A Nightmare on Elm Street is a bona fide classic. We all know that. But what about that ending? Was it as bad as some people say it is? Let's find out.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and
Okay, guys, today we're going to be talking about the 1984 classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street, directed by the amazing, legendary Wes Craven. May he rest in peace. This movie is so amazing. It is so creative. It's so stunning. I can't even find all the words that I want to use for it, But I don't want to talk about the movie because I think it's pretty universally accepted that this is a great movie. Not even just a great horror movie, but a great movie. But what I want to talk about is that ending that they used that was pretty much the stinger to set up the franchise, which, as we all know, has become one of the greatest horror franchises of all time and has cemented Robert Englund's character of Freddy Krueger as one of the greats ever.
This is God.
Now, in the story, I think that everything was going really, really well. Nancy set up the traps for Freddy, was very, very creative, very brave in her finale, the fight, the epic battle that she had with Freddy. And then we get to that scene where you have the fire burn, and that also was really, really cool. As a kid, that scene actually really creeped me out because Freddy's on fire and he's walking up the basement steps, and then you see the flames on the stairs as Nancy is going up the stairs to the bedroom. And then you see that he is attacking Nancy's mother in the bed, and he's still on fire. So it's a really visually stunning scene, covering up the mother and Freddy as they struggle to hopefully save her. And the next thing you know, you have this really fantastical shot of the mother sinking into the bed. At that point, Nancy's father, John Saxon, is there, of course, too. But I think one of the coolest parts to this ending was when she basically turned her back after John Saxon leaves the room. She turns her back on Freddy, knowing that he was going to appear. She acknowledged that this was a dream and that he was nothing, and so forth and so forth. It was very, very powerful. And then he lunges at her and he just disappears. So that's a pretty darn good ending, in my opinion. But as we know, when she leaves the bedroom, opening the door, all of a sudden she's walking outside. It's bright and sunny, and it's as if it was all a dream. Now, Wes Craven wanted the film to end where she just goes off to school. It's a brand new day. It's sunny, and so forth and so forth. And that was kind of the way Wes looked at it with his vision. He wanted to have Nancy turn her back on Freddy and his violence, and that's what kills him. And that's it. No other thoughts towards making sequels or anything, because Wes never thought a sequel would be made. But Bob Shea, who was running New Line Cinema, he wanted to have a stinger, or as Wes would say, he wanted to have a hook for his sequel. And what Bob Shea wanted to do was to have Freddy pick up the kids in the car and then drive off. Now, Wes felt as though that reversed everything that he was trying to say in the movie, and I totally agree with Wes. So both men had different ideas, and they kind of said, well, let's just kind of cut it into the middle. Let's just, both give in a little bit. And so Wes allowed the stinger to be filmed, but it was a little bit different. As we know in the film, they get into Nancy gets into the car, and you see the stripes, Freddy's red and green stripes. And then the doors lock, the windows come up, and so forth, and they can't get out of the car, and they're driving down the street, and it looks very dreamy. The best part about this scene to me was seeing the girls jumping rope and hearing the 1, 2, and all that type of stuff. That was the best part, seeing them jumping rope, and it just looks so dreamy. But then, of course, is the part where some fans, maybe even a lot of fans, totally kind of checked out, and that's when Freddy's arm comes through the door, the window of the door, the glass in the door, and pulls Nancy's mother through. And he's cackling and laughing and so forth. And of course, we know that was a dummy that was pulled through. It doesn't look very good, especially looking at it now, with today's, effects and things that they could have done. But again, this was 1984, guys, and this was kind of a way to get the film done. Wes wanted to give in because Bob Shaye believed in him and actually funded, this movie. And so that was kind of why Wes gave into it. Now, here's my question. Is the ending really that bad? I mean, don't get me wrong. When I first saw this movie, I was a kid. So I had that type of, that was the lens I was looking through it. But to be honest with you, it never really bothered me when she gets pulled through the door. And even as a kid, I could tell she wasn't real. It wasn't really Ronnie Blakely that was being pulled through. But because the movie set up this whole idea of dreams and fantastical things, I wasn't bothered by it because there were so many things in the movie that were fantastical and unbelievable and couldn't be real that was happening. So that's how I looked at it. Now, as an adult, when I watched the movie, I actually still enjoy the ending. And maybe that's because I love the franchise so much, and without that stinger of an ending, we wouldn't have gotten the sequels. Well, we probably still would have gotten the sequels, but it was a good setup because when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, Freddy's still alive. Or is he? It still was a dreamy type of scene that was shot, so I wasn't sure, but all I know is that I was scared as a kid. As an adult, I kind of smile when I see it, not because I'm making fun of the scene, but just because I know about what's to come, the iconic history that Freddy will have as a character. So I actually don't hate the ending. Yeah, it looks cheesy, but again, it's a dream. Freddy has these powers in the nightmare realm, so it doesn't really bother me too much. I've heard a lot of people talk about it and they say it's horrible, it's crappy, they totally hate it. What do you guys think? Because I'm really curious about it, and I want to start to get some ideas on what people are thinking about with the Nightmare series, because that'll be a series that I'll be covering soon on the channel with deep dives and discussions and so forth. So let me know, what do you think about the ending of A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984? Were you on board with it? Do you think it was well done? Do you think it was cheesy? Do you think it was crappy? Should they have never had it that way and just went with Wes's vision? Let me know in the comment section down below. And I will also say this, I definitely would have sided more with Wes Craven because he obviously has a great vision, but I'm not totally upset, or I'm not upset at all that they went down this road, because it kind of was a combination of both his vision and Bob Shaye wanting a stinger for the sequels. So anyways, please give the video a like. That would help support the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to the Night Watch Zone, what are you doing? This is the time to do it, and we're having a lot of fun conversations and discussions, and also live streams with our viewers and audience. So if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.